Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. Long story short, my father cheated on my mother with my stepmother. My wife, in our 7-year relationship, 4 dating, 3 married, has never met my father, stepmother, half-siblings, step-uncles, or my step-grandfather. My mother convinced my wife she didn't want any of them at the wedding or have any holidays with them the entirety of our relationship. My wife was cheated on in the past, but moved past that, or so I thought. Well, my wife and I recently found out we're having our first child, but my wife is not excited or happy at all, because my mother told her that my father cheated on my mother once she got pregnant. Yes, accurate, but it was before either of my parents knew my mother was pregnant with me. My wife is convinced that I'll cheat on her because she's pregnant. Very unlikely, as she's the most amazing woman I've met, and no one can hold a candle to her on looks. My mother just says I'm my father's son, which is really pissing me off. But because my wife hasn't met my father, she says that the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. She does trust me. She says she trusts me, but she cries every time my phone goes off. My stepmother, who I'll call Mama, says to not vilify my mother and be a supportive husband to my wife as best I can be. She even bought me some stuff to pamper my wife with, because she deserves to be loved and pampered like the beautiful woman she is, and how pregnancy is tough on women's bodies. I trusted the woman who was pregnant 3 times, once with twins. So, besides the obvious, how can I get my wife to calm down and enjoy her pregnancy? Or convince her that I will not cheat on her? I love my wife. She makes me whole. There will never be anyone but her. Edit. To add, my father and stepmother owned up to what they did to me years ago. They always apologize to my mother whenever they see her, because she constantly brings it up. I'm almost 30, but my mother will not stop making jabs at my father about my stepmother. I'll see what I can do about that. Edit 2. Okay, message taken. Separate my wife and mother, currently looking for therapists, and going to break out a couple face masks so my wife will be in a good mood when I talk to her. Maybe give her a massage. But I need to talk to her and cut contact with my mom. Couples therapy immediately. I can certainly understand why she has this insecurity now, and your mom is really being awful in this situation. But you can and should reassure her as much as you can, and understand that her hormones are going to be running wild. But try to get someone in the middle where you can all discuss all of this. And she should consider doing it on her own as well. What your father did isn't a prediction of what you'll do, but talking through it all is the only thing that's going to help. Good luck. You need to put your foot down with your mother and get into couples counseling with your wife. Your mother sounds like the type who isn't happy unless everyone around her is miserable. I think you need to have a serious conversation with your mother. Why do you have a relationship with a woman who believes you're going to cheat on your pregnant wife and who tells your wife so? She clearly has a crap opinion of you. Update. Firstly, my wife has joined an online book club with a lovely group of women who I've met. She's made friends. She's enjoying their book. The majority of them are moms, so they have plenty to talk about. With permission from my boss, I changed my work hours so we could spend more time together, and we've been talking a lot. She's much happier, and she's been talking to a therapist and me about her insecurities. It's a work in progress, but that is life, and our baby is developing very well due to reduced maternal stress. Secondly, I now call my stepmother by her first name. I don't call her Mama anymore. She wasn't upset at all. My wife has met my grandfather, stepmom's dad, and my uncles, stepmom's brothers. They got along real well, especially since I got a pie to the face and they all laughed at me. Fair. I'm under the impression it was my grandfather's idea, but as long as she is happy. Her laughter is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. My mother was told therapy or no contact. I was told she wasn't going because there isn't anything wrong with her. Her husband and daughters, my awesome sisters, are going to keep trying. My mother and wife have been out of contact since. My wife is a little upset, but because of this, she's made new friends that when the world is better, she can meet in person and they can dish on their husbands out of earshot. Kidding. Then someone in my DMs got into my head about the paternity about my half-siblings. if they really are my father's or not. So I talked to my family about genealogy and learning about where our family came from. One of my uncles suggested we just make our own episode of Maury. Stepmother said it would be pretty boring, but whatever if that's what we wanted to spend our money and time on. Yes, my family is a little weird. So all us kids took tests. My sisters didn't want to be left out. I mean, I had the test as a baby, no true surprises. 4 out of 5 kids matched. The one that didn't? Me. The one kid my dad was sure about. Several tests later, they all agree. My dad isn't my biological father. Dad's upset. I'm upset. I haven't told my wife because I don't know how to really say it without sounding like a crazy person. And I still have emotions about the results myself. Me and my twin half-siblings could be triplets. I don't understand. I'm a little lost here. I'm overwhelmed. If anyone has anything for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'd love to ask my mother about this fun revelation, but she's not getting anything from me until she goes to therapy. My stepfather and sisters wouldn't know anything about it. So, if anyone has advice, I'm open to hearing it. Update 2. I wasn't expecting to make a trilogy out of this. I was just expecting some advice to help me with my wife. But thank you to everyone who has been helpful. I shall continue my epic. Before I begin, my dad and I went through with a paternity test through a doctor. No change. And, well, I did a genealogy kit and made the results public so I could try to find my father that way, and sadly nothing yet on that front. My wife has met my whole family. It's amazing, and she's talking about us renewing our vows so they could be there that time. Baby, and virus permitting, I do like the idea, and my wife apologized to me about the hurtful things she said and the way she behaved, and even offered to have them paternity test our baby with a promise for the most boring paternity results ever, i.e., the baby being mine. I trust my wife. We're a team, and I love her. There will never be another person for me. I will take her up on her offer, but it's not because I think it will expose something, and I've told her just that. My stepfather reportedly gave my mother my paternity results. He told me she screamed, "That bee!" I believe that's a reference to my stepmother. She claims my stepmother tampered with the results, all of the tests us kids took, to make my mother look bad because, and I quote, "That skank couldn't close her legs for a cold breeze. She'll F everything that moves." Things were thrown, and a lot of other things were screamed about my dad and stepmother. She is indefinitely no contact with me or my wife. Her daughter, my half-sister, has been removed and is living with my stepfather's parents until her paternity results come back. My other sister is my stepsister. She's safe. Oh, and Mama, my loving stepmother, has busted the evil stepmother myth for my darling wife. Their relationship is relatively new, but those two, plus my 2 sisters, Dad's girls, and my other 2 sisters have teased starting their own book club while they wait for baby to arrive. Or the world to right itself, whichever comes first. So I think I'm okay. It's not perfect, not a fairy tale, but maybe an update when my sister's results come in, or if I get a hit on my genes, or I can leave you all in suspense. I can stop using this account and bothering the poor people on this subreddit. But when my boy is born, it will be hard not to tell you all about it. Update 3. Okay, so I wanted to start my update with the happy news, but I thought I should start with the title because I am, well, furious. My wife was with my dad's family because my mother tried breaking into our house. So my mother found out my wife was staying there and basically tried to do the same. When she broke into my house, I did call the police, but they let her go with a warning. Even after I tried to press charges, "She's your mom. You don't want to do that to her." Mother busted in a living room window to be confronted by stepmother. Mother busted stepmother over the head with my grandmother's urn. Dad called the cops, but not before my grandpa punched my mother. Mother and grandpa were arrested and taken to the station before I got there. Dad and one of my brothers went with my stepmother, while my sisters were consoling my wife until I got there. I immediately took my wife to her mother's house and stayed there while my uncles freed grandpa, who was having a grand old time since it reminded him of his military days, and he loved his military days. My stepmother is recovering, but given she's not that young anymore, it may take her some time to fully recover. Dad and I are pressing charges on my mother. Every charge I can get because I'm done. Anyway, I found my biological father's family, a wife and 2 sons. I have 2 half-brothers who were very surprised I existed. My father passed suddenly 3 years ago, so all that I have is his wife and sons. And I apparently look just like him. I'll never truly know his side of the story, but I know that he married his wife when I was 4 years old, and his wife has no idea who my mother is. They're very nice people who can't wait for us all to meet in person. My little sister's paternity results haven't come back yet, that I know of. She's very busy these days. My wife has assured me that her and the baby are okay. I'm just unbelievably angry at my mother right now. So if anyone has anything they can give me, I'd appreciate it. My significant other is not super close with his mom. He talks to her once a month usually, about getting, often late, rent from her, as she lives on one of his properties. She lives 2 hours away. I've met her a dozen times since we've been together, and have always been polite, including getting her a nice gift for Christmas, cooking for her a few times the one weekend she visited, and once paying for dinner. After being together for years, significant other and I decided to purchase a home together, which is a lot closer to where we both work. A really beautiful house that we are both so excited to move into. We have been working since April in every second of our spare time on home renovations to get this house ready for sale. We bought about a month ago, and this house sold at an amazing price a few days ago. Then, significant other calls just no mother-in-law on speaker. She speaks French and is using single pronoun to refer to our house, i.e., not acknowledging it's my house too. All she asks about is the price he sold for and the price of the new house, saying, "Oh good, that's lots of money." I'm talking to her too, and at first just ignore that she is only calling it his house and still speak politely. But she is basically ignoring me when I talk. She says, "Make sure you don't move on my birthday and don't spend too much on things for the house so you can get me a nice gift." Okay, a bit weird, but maybe it's just her sense of humor. I ask if she's seen any pics of the new house, and she says no, even though significant other sent her some when we bought. She says, "This isn't like when he bought a house with X. He posted this great photo with her on Facebook in front of the house. Do you still have that photo, significant other? How come you didn't do that this time? The windiest day. Didn't you know that's usually what he does when he buys a house? Significant other, you should make sure to keep that pic and take lots of pics of the old house to remember the happy times you had when you lived with her. The new one is just one of many. There's nothing like buying your very first house." Note, the photo thing is not even true. We were both completely startled. I have never had someone be so outright rude to me in my life when I've been nothing but polite. Significant other sent her a message to ask why she brought that up, and she replied, "Oh, did I start a fight?" with a sly face emoji. Any advice on how to proceed now that she's shown her true colors would be appreciated. I had been hoping to have a good relationship, but now I don't want her even knowing our new address. I am quite sensitive as I try to be really friendly to everyone, so I don't know what happened. Significant other still hasn't figured out how to approach it, but wants to do something. Comments like hers should only be responded to with questions, not confrontation. Why would you think you started a fight? What do you mean? What are you trying to say? I don't understand. Explain it to me. Repeated questions about a-hole comments really knock the wind out of just no's. They're looking for a fight, not an essay. You drop the rope. Let significant other handle her. Block her on all devices. Your hopes to have a cordial relationship just flew out the window. Now, just have to be an olive tree, really. Keep your special times and holidays to yourselves. Do not let her contaminate your beautiful new home. I hope she has pics of her son to remember the good times, because if it were me, she would not get to see me or that house until she apologized. What a disrespectful witch! She got all excited when she thought she was able to cause a fight between you two. Update. Significant other called her out on being rude, and she just stood her ground and continued to be incredibly rude to us, with highlights including saying he is making a huge mistake and I'm not the right person for him, forgetting my name and just referring to me as new girlfriend, telling significant other siblings to stop talking to him because he is unsupportive of her, while ironically living in a house he owns. A year and a half of only contact of very short text messages on holidays, with no mention of me whatsoever. In good news, significant other has been on my side the whole time, has no interest in repairing anything with her since she won't apologize. He's only seen her once in person since the whole incident, more than a year ago. I have successfully avoided any contact. Now we are very happily engaged and planning to get married in a few months. The problem is, of course, that we never actually resolved the situation. I'm of the mind to just send a save the date, but I realize it's been a year and a half. Significant other is very set on us not putting any effort, but I am thinking that this might cause me more stress than just confronting it. Maybe it's time to let bygones be bygones. Advice would be great. Edit. Important fact I forgot to mention. Significant other does want to invite her to the wedding, as sort of a last chance for her, so it's a question of how to go about it. He doesn't care if she comes or not, but does want to give her the opportunity to come. If significant other wants to send an invitation, send it. The ball will be in her court, then wait and see how she plays more games. It seems like your future husband knows she will do something rude, out of line, or just plain mean. If she does, she will make her bed and she will have to lay in it. You have a great future husband. He has your back. Fiancé and I have been together 3 years. At first, I thought things were okay, although just no mother-in-law was always a bit rude. His parents are separated. We bought a house together 2 years ago, at which point his mom decides to tell him over the phone that he's making the worst mistake of his life, that he should get a separation agreement since I was basically a gold digger, that I just wasn't the right person for him, and she knew since she was his mom. He calls her out for being rude. She doesn't talk to him aside from 3 texts a year for 2 years, never apologizes, talks crap about me to family, friends for these 2 years, despite not even having a conversation with me for years. This February, we got engaged and decided to bite the bullet and invite her to our house to tell her. After a very awkward dinner, she does manage to say congratulations, and she offers to find some addresses so he can invite her family members to the wedding. She is very hesitant to give the addresses at first, and really wanted us to just send her a whole bunch of save the dates for her to drop off herself. Obviously, I shut this down. We send our save the dates. No problems ensue. She does not ask about the wedding planning, offer to help, ask any questions, etc. Seems very disinterested. She does ask if I am paying for her to get her hair and makeup done. It comes time to make our invitations. We have a wonderful relationship with my parents. Have them over for all holidays. See them once a week for dinner, etc. They already consider my fiancé their son. They offer us a lot of money to help with the wedding, and also to host a dinner the day before. Therefore, our invitation is worded traditionally with them as the hosts. Think, bride's parents joyfully request the honor of your presence at the wedding of... Fiancé's dad has never bothered to meet me despite multiple invitations. Fiancé's mom, again, never had any indication she wanted to do anything for the wedding organizing, or had any interest in it at all. After invites are sent, we see her at a family funeral. When she arrives, she says hello and shakes hands with everyone except for me and fiancé. She says not one word to me in 4 hours, and walks away when I try to greet her. We are confused, and later hear from one of fiancé's brothers that we insulted her by not putting just no mother-in-law and fiancé's dad with my parents as a host of the wedding, and that they will no longer be coming to the wedding. I'm just so over it. It's been nothing but stress with just no mother-in-law. Honestly, it would be insulting to my parents to stick her name as equal with them in supporting our relationship and our marriage. Or his dad, who has never even met me, nor seen fiancé in 4 years. Fiancé says he would prefer if she doesn't come at all, since it would be less drama. We are considering just not following up with her if she chooses not to RSVP. We really hope her choices do not impact his other extended family. I'm so worried about her saying something rude to me on our wedding day. I just want to have a happy day with family. One of my parents is very sick, and this is probably the last big event we will share with them. It's just so important to me to have good memories and not have a dark cloud of just no mother-in-law ruining things. Consider her invitation rescinded and send her a formal uninvite. Put your parents' name on that one too, and request she pass this along to what's-his-name, her ex. You don't know him, so she can tell him. When the trash is in the process of taking itself out, do not get in the way. Be happy on your big day, and they can suck lemons. I, 28, love my parents. They've always been great to me, loved me, and supported me. They've been staying with me and my wife since we had a baby to help out, and if I'm being honest, it has been a great help having them around. Yesterday, my dad asked me to get the mail from his place after work so he could pay his bills. Well, I got the mail, and most of it is bills and ads, but one actual letter. I didn't think anything of it and gave it to my dad. He apparently threw it out, but my wife noticed it in the trash and read it. She didn't know what it was when she saw it. She brought it to me, and it was addressed to my dad as father, so obviously my half-sister. She's pregnant and asking for money, 'cause it's harder for her to make it, and she just wants to support her baby. I confronted my parents, and yeah, she's 21-ish, born from my dad's affair. He gave her money until she graduated. She writes him letters. She's apparently not in college 'cause she's broke, and he thinks she's stripping or doing S-work. He doesn't even know for sure. He just told me he's done supporting her, and she isn't his responsibility. We talked more about it for half an hour. My mom was quiet, and my dad has never been like that. I don't even know the word for it to describe how he was. It just made me so ducking angry. I made them leave right there without even taking their things back. 'Cause it feels like it's my fault. I have a sister out there who's living like garbage, while I'm out here enjoying my life. After looking into her a bit more, I talked to 2 cousins 2 hours ago, and they're both divided on if I did the right thing. One cousin thinks I was an a-hole for making my parents leave without talking things through, or even making a plan. But her sister thinks I did the right thing. My wife told me she's staying out of it since she regrets reading someone else's mail. I just don't know myself. I feel like an a-hole for making my parents leave 'cause I love them so much. But at the same time, I feel so mad over the situation. Edit. Since people are wondering if my mom knew because she was so quiet, she knew everything. Not the a-hole for kicking them out. They have a home to go to, and you need some time to calm down before any talking can take place. Take your time. Not the a-hole. It sounds like what you're most hurt by is that your parents treated you well, and you saw them as good people. Now that you see how your father treated his other child, and your mother's complicity, you feel like you don't know them anymore. It's not just the lying. It's the fact that your parents have supported you and given you advantages, while your half-sister was treated like an afterthought and a dirty secret. It sounds like you also have a lot of guilt, because your parents set you up for success, while not doing the same for your half-sister. I think it's completely understandable to have a lot of feelings of hurt and betrayal. You can't make up for what happened to your half-sister, but it sounds like you may want to reach out and offer her some support. I think that might be healing for you both. Update. I want to thank everyone who said go talk to my parents. That's the first thing I did. I went to their place and tried to talk to them, but it was frustrating, and my mom got angry when I said I was going to reach out to my sister. She asked why I cared, and I got upset and told her because she taught me to. My dad saw me out after that and surprised me by telling me that he was proud of me for being a better man than him. That was weird. Anyway, my wife reached out to my sister Anna, and she agreed to meet. I went with my cop friend Joe because you never know. We met Anna in her apartment, and it's a rough side of town. It's tiny and a crap place to live. Anna's a small, quiet girl who works in a library. She reminds me of my gran. She claimed she's only a waitress at an S club to make ends meet. Obviously, she can't do it now. She said she's failed like her mom, and the best thing she can do is have her kids succeed. She said she just wanted cash to take pregnancy classes. I gave her my number and some cash, of which she gave a lot back right away. That night, my wife asked if I could let Anna move in because she felt heartbroken. I gave Anna the offer, but she refused and said she won't take advantage of us. About a month later, she phoned me crying and said there's black mold in her building and she has to go. She came to us with barely anything, just clothes, a wallet, a toothbrush, and a sack of old books. Since then, she's just been sad and really alone, 'cause she thinks she's taking advantage. She tries to help with chores a lot and always apologizes. She's only happy when she plays with our baby. But it was her birthday a few days ago, and she asked if we'd get her cupcakes. It was like she expected me to say no, but my wife went and got them, and a whole DQ cake, while I got her the box set of the Expanse books. She started crying and hugged us both when she saw everything on the living room table for her. In the days since, she has seemed happier, and I won't lie, I'm worried for her, but I do think stability has helped her. As for my parents, My mom refuses to come as long as she is there, so I visit her with the baby sometimes. My dad refuses to go because he says he's ashamed. Whatever, I guess. On the other hand, my wife's parents told me they are more proud of me than ever. My cousin recently got married, and we were all sent a link to a Google Drive with photos from the wedding. Well, the photos were heavily edited. My cousin basically photoshopped herself to look a lot more skinny than she actually was, and those photos looked obvious. So I ended up posting to Instagram photos that I had on my iPhone. They weren't as high quality as the professional photos, but none of the weird distortions. Well, my cousin told me to take down the photos and to archive the post, because she just wants to be represented by the photographer that took the photos. I was like, I'll untag you and remove the wedding hashtag, but it is just a picture of me and my girlfriend with my cousin and my auntie. But she insists that she wants the photo taken down, and that the photos I posted defame her and make her look like in a bad light. She starts saying that I purposely chose that photo to make her look ugly. I don't really want to take down the photo. I just find the whole thing ridiculous. I know she invited me to the wedding, but I feel like this rule is really dumb. I don't think you're an a-hole for posting the photo initially, but she's asked you to remove it, and you're refusing, which makes yes the a-hole. If somebody doesn't want you to post a photo online with them in it, they're well within their right to ask you to remove it, and you should honor that. Yes, the a-hole. Don't ever post photos of someone without their permission, especially when they involve something as important and special as a wedding. Yes, the a-hole. Yes, she is being vain, but so what? Your post makes it seem like you put these up and tagged her only because of her own photos, and that's just a petty vindictive move. Asking you to take it down might have been overboard, but you had any number of 30-second tools at your disposal, from cropping the picture to adjusting your sharing settings, and you deliberately did not, and still do not use them after being asked. Another jerk move. But you have a right to keep those photos up, so congratulations on standing up for your right to be a jerk.